are watching Soleful Discussions.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm doing great.
All right, all right. How did you and I meet today?
I was sitting at the cafeteria waiting on my food, and you came up to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I approached you about doing an interview. Do you remember what we're talking about today? I gave you 3 topics.
Mental health, reflexology, and I forgot what the other
Your
one
thoughts
is.
about the subject of feet.
Feet?
Yes. All right.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
I just saw your face there. Anyway, when you hear the word feet, what's the first thing you think about? What goes through your mind?
Just toes?
Okay, toes. Anything else? That's pretty much it.
Maybe those guys that love feet pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to ask you a couple questions. It'll
Okay.
just be your thoughts about how you feel about the subject. You can feel free to answer however you like.
Okay.
What about when
Okay.
you hear mental health? Do you think about anything when you hear that?
Therapy. Yeah,
Absolutely.
pretty much.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that feet and mental health can correlate in any kind of way? Do you see a correlation there?
No.
Okay, cool. No worries. It's all good. Today we're going to talk a little bit about like dealing with stress, anxiety.
Okay.
Just some things maybe that you've learned.
Okay.
I'll talk about a little bit of what I've learned since I started my channel, okay?
Okay.
Cool. Let's start with the reflexology, actually. Have you heard of that before?
I have, but I'm not sure
Not too familiar?
exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm going to give you some information today. You just tell me what your thoughts are about it,
Okay.
okay? So let's start with the first question. What are your thoughts about what's something you think we can do to improve mental health awareness throughout the world? Like, what is something you think, if we started this, it would help people out?
Ooh, I don't know. That's kind of. I'd like to say that our generation is like more open about it, and like, I'd like to think that with our generation, it's like therapy isn't seen as like a
Yeah.
bad thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like a bad stigma.
Yep.
But actually, recently, I was talking to someone about this topic,
Okay.
and I had mentioned another person that I know that goes to therapy, and he was very like ashamed of it, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, and the person I was talking to said, well, yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to know I was in therapy too.
Wow.
And then I said, well, there's nothing wrong with therapy.
Not at all.
So maybe we can be a little bit more open and accepting about
that.
it.
Absolutely.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Like
Yeah.
you're getting help. Maybe make it more affordable. I know that's like a controversial topic,
Yeah.
but it's expensive. It's damn expensive.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about. I mean, I think that's why for some people they don't do it. I noticed like
Yeah.
in a lot of like colored households, like if
Yeah,
you talk
yeah.
about Latino, African American, things like
Yeah.
that. Those things that we can't really afford. So it's like when you start talking about, I'm gonna pay money to go see somebody and talk about my feelings. You're like, nah, I'm good. Like I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I could use that money for something else. But I
Yeah.
definitely get it. That's a great point that you brought up. In terms of filling the blank on this next question, the world would be better if.
If we were just nice to each other,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much like I don't know.
Negativity.
There's so much negativity. There's a lot of assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be nice. You don't know what people are going through, you know?
I just interviewed with a girl on Sunday. She was with her sister, and she wore a shirt that said, "Don't be a dick." And I was like, I made sure we got a close up of it, like let's make sure, because I think a lot of times like some people don't understand that like sometimes people are going through a whole lot that you don't know about. It might not
Yeah.
be visible,
Yeah.
but it's like sometimes we're just like not too cool. It's like
We're so like in our heads sometimes.
Exactly.
And sometimes I am too. Like
Yeah.
I'll take my anger out on like places that I shouldn't, but yeah, just be mindful of that you don't know what someone's going through.
Absolutely, absolutely. In terms of like if a friend or loved one was like struggling with like stress, anxiety, like anything like that,
Yeah.
is there anything that like you would say or do with them to like maybe like help them get through that time?
I feel like I am the friend that
Oh, you're the
people
friend
go
everybody
to.
goes to.
I'm just there to listen.
Yeah.
And if I ask them, do you want me to listen or do you want me to tell you my opinion? I also tell them therapy does help if you have the funds for it.
You got the funds, man.
Yeah.
There's some actually some very affordable free sites that I saw.
Really?
Yeah, there's some different things that people offer, like, and it might not. I guess it might not be the best, but just having somebody you can talk to sometimes
Yeah.
is like the best. And I like what you said about sometimes just being there to listen, because
Yeah.
a lot of times, I think that people are just going to know that they like are not alone. Like I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody's going to listen to me, and it's cool.
Agreed.
I actually interviewed her on Sunday as well, and she mentioned that her and her friends, they actually have like emoji that they use, so that when somebody's having a hard time, they send that emoji, and it makes sure it lets everybody know like, oh, they're dealing with something. So immediately they go over and make sure that they like do things with that person to like help them get through that time or whatever.
I like that.
I thought that was really dope. I was like, when she said it, I was like, I'm gonna have to steal that from you. Absolutely. Because I think that that's something that could be useful. You don't have to say anything. We don't have to go through like back and forth text. Just send me the emoji and cool.
Sometimes you don't want to talk about it.
That's the point. Exactly. In terms of yourself, and you don't have to go too in depth with this question. It may be more of a surface level answer if you're comfortable. What is something that brings you anxiety? And then like when you feel like you're experiencing anxiety, do you do anything that like helps you counteract how you're feeling in the moment?
I'm not gonna do much to get in, or like say much.
Yeah.
But something small maybe is like being somewhere where there's so many people.
Me too. Crowds.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get so like anxious.
Yeah.
What do? I do the little awkward.
Oh, okay.
But something that helps maybe is like, this is kind of weird, but chewing gum.
Chewing gum, okay.
Yeah, or like having something to fiddle with.
Sensory, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but that's what helps me.
I think it takes your mind off of it, right? Because now you're more focused on like movements and things like that.
Another thing is like, just if you think about it, people don't really care.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you get so caught up thinking that everybody's like worried about you, and it's
like oh my God, am I like, is there something wrong? Like, or like, am I doing this right? Like, people don't really care.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, you see thousands of people all the time. Do you really care about that one person?
Not at all. Like a lot of times, like you're walking through and you're focused on like what your goal is, what something that you're doing. So like you're not too focused on it. Absolutely.
Exactly. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the grounding technique?
No.
Because so that's something I would share with me about like when you go out. Let's say, because I have the same type of anxiety you have with crowds. Like when I'm around like large crowds, like if it's like 25, 30 people, I'm cool. Because as long as it's spread out, I'm good. But when you start getting like packed in and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not feeling too good. But something you can do is basically focus on the things that you see and hear around you.
Yes, I have heard of that.
Absolutely.
Like the smell, like how it feels.
Yep. By
colors.
doing that, you allow yourself to not focus on like how you're feeling, and like now you're focused on other things instead. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. In terms of, let's say somebody came to you and they gave you the power to change something about yourself, right? It doesn't have to be something physical. Maybe it's a behavior you have.
Yeah.
Is there anything you think you would change about yourself?
Just to love myself more.
Okay.
And be more confident. Not to stand up for myself more, I'd say.
It's a big one right there. It's a big one. All right, let's get into these questions now. I want you to fill in the blank on this question, okay? When I think about my feet, I feel, what do you feel when you think about your own feet?
Insecure.
Insecure?
Yeah, actually.
Wow. I get that very few times from people.
Really?
Usually it's like, oh, I feel grateful or something like it's like, so you went to insecure. Have you ever gotten teased or something like that? Is that why?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but you know what? Grateful.
Okay.
Yeah, grateful is a great one. Because we don't think about it. Like, you wake up and you can walk.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's something so, like, random, but, like, that's a big thing to be grateful for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this in terms of questions. Have you ever been complimented on your feet before? Has anybody ever said to you, hey, I think you have nice feet? Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
So it has, but you said you still have insecurities. So where did does the insecurities, like, carry more weight than, like, the compliment did?
A little bit, because it was online and it was just really random.
Interesting.
But I have my own insecurities about my feet, but they don't bother me that much.
Okay.
It's just like, oh, I don't really like that, but it's my feet, like,
do you
whatever.
do like a comparison game to like other people? Like you're like, man, her feet like look better than mine. So you do comparisons.
I do actually. Like my best friend has really nice feet. She has really pretty feet.
Okay, so you do comparisons and you feel like mine's don't quite match up to
like hers looks so
the
pretty.
aesthetics of hers. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it though.
Okay,
it's not that deep.
Okay, let me ask you this: in terms of compliments you receive from men and women, do you prefer to get compliments from one group over the other?
I feel flattered with both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I very rarely get that, but I'm always like intrigued when I
Yeah.
do get that. I think some people do focus more on negative comments they get from guys.
Yeah.
As opposed to like sometimes guys can just like say, hey, I think you look really pretty or something like that, and they keep going, right?
Yeah.
One thing I did hear was that a lot of times women give more details, and I think maybe that's the thing that's missing for guys. Like if a girl was to come up to you and say that they loved your hair, they'd like mention like the highlights and stuff like that in your hair, as opposed to a guy just being like, hey, you have really nice hair. Like that doesn't. It's a little bit different, right?
I feel flattered with both.
Yeah.
But I feel slightly more flattered with the ladies.
Yeah.
Because as ladies, like, sometimes we can be a little catty and mean to each other. Sometimes I get scared to compliment girls because I don't know if they're going to give me a dirty look or like be like,
if they're going to take it the right way. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, but I just tell myself, like, every time I get like compliments from a girl, I'm so flattered. Like, it makes my day. So just do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So next question for you, because I like what you said towards the end, like about compliments making your day. If you look back on compliments that you received in your life, is there a certain compliment that when you got it from somebody, you're like, man, that was awesome. It really made my day. It made me feel good. And I'll share something with you. For me, it's energy. When somebody said to me, man, I love your energy. Like your energy is like, it feels really good and warm. For me, it's like, that's great because a lot of times, sometimes I don't feel that way. Sometimes I feel like I'm just kind of going through the motions, and somebody be like, man, your energy was awesome, and I'm like,
you do have good energy.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. No, I don't feel like that all the time, though.
Yeah,
and,
I feel like.
So when I do hear that, I feel good about it. I'm glad I can give that to somebody. Absolutely.
I'd say you're so nice and really funny.
Interesting. Yeah.
I love being the funny one. Yeah, I love being called funny.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
like,
the
am I funny?
right there. Yeah. But the funny one is like something that's a little bit deeper because it's like not everybody's funny, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. How often do you get pedicures?
Recently, maybe like once every 3 weeks.
Gel?
Yeah.
All right. My girlfriend gets the same thing, gel.
This is gel.
Absolutely, yeah. She gets the gel. It's something else that they call it too, because they use some type of powder. I forgot what it's called. Yeah, acrylic. Yeah, so
acrylic.
Yeah, she gets that, and it's she says that it's really good. It helps it last a little bit longer, so that's definitely dope. Let me ask you this: in terms of pedicures, have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before?
Nope.
All right, so you probably have. I'm just gonna give you some information about it, but it's you go see a podiatrist specialist of the foot. They take a look at your feet to make sure your toenails grow correctly. They check your toe alignment to make sure your toe alignment is right.
Okay.
They check your feet for like dead skin, fungus. Do all the work there with like medical grade equipment.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like the cleanest possible pedicure you could get, right? And it's also very informative because it gives you information about what's happening with your own feet, right?
Right.
What would your thoughts be on seeing somebody like that who could give you more insight into what's happening with your feet?
What do I think about getting that kind of service done?
Yeah, like so if, let's say somebody came to you and they gave you a gift certificate like, hey man, you can go see somebody. Would you go, or would you be like opposed to going?
No, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Okay.
I'd if it was free, I'd be like, I mean, sure, like okay, why not?
Like, hey, you're paying for it for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I have some kind of toe disease that I don't know about. I don't know.
I think you would know by now if you did. I think you would know.
Well, I don't know. I don't think about my feet that much. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it something that now that I kind of mentioned it to you, would you be like, it'll be more on your radar now?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think I think I have pretty healthy feet.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
How often do you wear like open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops, things like that?
Recently a lot. Well, before this, I just got cold, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was.
What we got there? Uggs? Are those the Ugg ones?
No, these are just. Yeah.
They look
Uggs.
nice.
Thank
they
you.
look nice. Absolutely. Do you have a favorite type of shoe you like to wear? Like, is it like a brand or?
Oh, a brand or like a specific style.
Or a specific style of shoe or something like that.
Slides.
Slides. Okay.
Because they're comfy and
come in
effortless. Yeah.
It's like I gotta run out the house real quick, throw on the slides, like going to run some errands. Throw the slides on. Absolutely.
Exactly.
In terms of going barefoot, how often do you do that?
Like completely barefoot, like no socks,
No,
nothing.
Like you could be with socks or without socks, like.
A lot, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm home a lot, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you heard of earthing and grounding? I know we mentioned grounding earlier. Is that something that you've practiced before? Have you tried it? Have you noticed anything? Okay.
I have not practiced it.
So it's something like, let's say, for example, you had a long day at work.
Yeah.
You're at work and you're like, man, it's kind of rough. I don't really know. Something you can do is you can come home 10, 15 minutes of your time. Go stand in like some grass. If you have grass in your backyard, front yard, go stand in the grass. And what you do is you focus on what you're feeling in the moment. Kind of like we said the same thing about if you're in crowds.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You're focusing on what you're feeling. So you focus on like, I feel soft grass against my feet.
Yeah.
I feel like a cool breeze coming through. I basically feel like I hear the birds chirping. Whatever it is, whatever your senses are telling you, that's what you focus on. And basically what it does is it allows you to like unclog that mental space that maybe got clogged up during work or school, whatever it may be. Is it
like meditation?
Something like that. But it's a way for you to basically do like a reset button. It's a way for you to like reset your feelings, emotions, all that stuff, and like focus on what's happening in the moment.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about that? Would that be something you would try?
Maybe.
It's free.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared of the bugs.
Really? Are you like allergic to like bug bites or anything?
I'm allergic to grass, first of all.
Interesting.
Yeah, so...
What about in sand, though?
In sand, I do that.
Okay.
But I have like this new fear that I saw online about like, I guess like beaches don't allow dogs because they poop.
Yep.
And then I think you can get some kind of like, I don't know if it's like a parasite.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the beach, I would do that at the beach.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be something that you would try if you were at the beach, like kind of taking a moment to yourself.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so now in this moment right now, can we see what your feet look like?
No.
No? So why are you saying no?
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like feet. And I don't like my feet.
That's fine. I feel like I know you said you have some basically insecurities about your own feet. I do want to, let me tell you about the mental health what got me started on my channel. I'm going to come back around. Okay. There's a reason why I asked you that question and why I'm asking you all these questions. Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of exposure therapy before? You familiar with that?
I think I've heard of it, but I'm not sure what it is.
So I'll tell you what it is. It's basically, let's say you're uncomfortable in certain situations, scenarios. You might even have a phobia about something, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times what we do is when we're presented with situations, we'll say, I'm in my comfort zone, right? My comfort zone is not knowing what's on the other side. So because I'm in my comfort zone, I don't want to see what's going to happen, right?
Right.
So imagine in your life if like when it came to trying foods, right? If every time somebody presented a new food to you and they said, hey, try this, you said no, right? What would happen? Like the things that you would like would be on a very small scale, right? And you would never know what like really good food is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So because you would only have like small experiences and reference points, right?
Yeah.
So basically, let's say you have a fear of something. You're talking about having a fear and being insecure about your own feet, right?
Right.
What's gonna happen? What's the worst thing that you can experience, like in your mind, that's gonna happen? You show your feet. What's the worst thing? Imagine the worst thing.
Maybe I'll get roasted.
So my question to you, because I've heard that before, does that impact you 5 years from now?
No.
Okay, so it's something that would happen in a moment, right? Somebody says something to you, but even if your toes weren't done, you can still get your toes done and it changes how you look, right? So it's not like something that's like gonna last forever, right?
No, no.
But sometimes in our minds, what we do is we create these scenarios and stuff and say, well, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and we think ourselves out of situations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So when I heard about that, I was like, intriguing. I have an idea. Let me create a YouTube channel where I go out. I just met you, right? We don't know each other. I'm interviewing you. We're asking all these questions, and you seem comfortable, right? Everything's good.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
We get to that question, though. Do you continue the comfortability, or do you get to the point where you start thinking about things in your mind, like, oh man, I'm insecure. Like I don't think that. You start letting that mind take over, like the experience, right? Instead of living in the moment. So when I go out, I get different reactions. Some women are completely open and don't like. They're not really thinking about that. They're just like, cool, like I'm enjoying the experience, right? Some women start to like overthink and like, well, I don't know. And then some women are like, well, no, they're just completely opposed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The whole point of my channel is to show the reactions I get so that people can learn to be more comfortable with the conversation of feet. So you notice when I asked you about feet, the first thing you mentioned was toes. And then after that, you said guys who have like feet pics and stuff like that, right?
Like feet fetishes,
yeah. But you didn't mention like massages. You didn't mention like pedicures. Like you went directly there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's because you related to like those things. You don't relate it to the positive side. So I even talked to you about grounding just recently, grounding, earthing. You didn't mention any of those things. So my point in my channel is to like show the positivity around feet and try to like make it a positive experience, right? Through my interactions. What are your thoughts about that? You think it's a good thing, bad thing? How do you feel about it? Can we get you out of your comfort zone today? We know you got the insecurities, but What's the worst? The worst thing you said you thought was gonna happen is somebody's gonna roast you. Okay, can we get you out of your comfort zone?
Not today. Maybe if it was like some random person that I didn't know and they were like, hey, I'll give you like money to see your feet right now. I'll be like, okay. But the fact that it's going on the internet, like,
Okay.
I think that's what's making me kind of like, no, I don't want to
Is
do
it
that.
because like also like we just met? You don't know if I really have a YouTube channel that's like kind of in your mind too.
I get the vibe that you really do. I believe you.
Yeah.
But, and because I believe you, I don't want your, like, all those people to see my feet.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get roasted for it.
Nobody's gonna roast you. We don't judge. I promise you, we don't judge on the channel. Like, we try to keep the positivity going.
Yeah.
Like I just told you, like I'm here with a couple girls who interviewed on my channel. I treat them to a pedicure because that's the positivity I'm trying to bring out in it, right?
How long do I have to show them? Do I have to take my shoes off? Like my
if
socks
we can
off?
get you, how about this? Because I know that could be a little bit much.
Yeah.
What if we just do 1 foot? Could we get you out of that? Can you try that?
What do I have to do? Like
We're just gonna like we're gonna
like,
show
here you
it.
go.
I'll have you put it in a chair. Just like set your foot there. We'll take a look at the tops, the bottom. That's it.
Oh. No, I don't want to do it.
Okay, so why is it though?
I don't know. It's just, it's weird. Like, you're a stranger and like,
So first,
and you're going to go like.
So listen, first you started off with, well, I'm gonna get roasted. Now you're talking about, well, you're a stranger.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean.
like all these people are gonna be watching me. So
Yeah,
now you're starting to
exactly.
but do you see how you're starting to get into your own head? Like you're starting to think about like all these different things happening, and it's like the reality. Is any of that stuff really gonna happen? We don't know because you don't have any evidence yet to see that that's gonna happen or not.
Right.
But the only way for you to find out is to go through with it or not go through with it. And I'm not gonna press you too much because I know you said you got some things to do. So
I want my corn dog.
yeah, no, I understand. So like, if you're saying no, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
No worries.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about. First of all, how are you feeling so far during the interview? Are you feeling?
I feel
pretty
good.
Okay.
I'm feeling chill. I'm a little chilly.
Yeah.
But like,
No worries. I'm gonna let you go right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about reflexology and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
So reflexology deals with the different pressure points you actually have in your hands and your feet, right?
Okay, that's
Those,
what I thought.
Yeah, exactly. Those
Yeah.
pressure points connect to like different parts of your body. So let's say, for example, through like a massage, through acupuncture,
Yeah.
through acupressure, you can actually like alleviate like stress and tension to various parts of your body. So
Right.
let's say, for example, you're basically somebody who's like dealing with migraines, right? It's actually a portion of your hands and feet you can massage that alleviates the tension you feel in those moments. It's also a piercing you can get in your ear, does the exact same thing. Yep, there you go. What are your thoughts about that? You think it's a positive thing? How do you feel about it?
I think it's a positive thing. I think I only started like learning about it maybe a year or two ago.
Okay.
I think it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're telling me I could just do this or something and it'll alleviate some kind of
Alleviates tension,
pain.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and this is usually the portion. So when we talk about sensitivity, I mean reflexology, we talk about sensitivity. Are you ticklish when you go get pedicures and stuff?
A little bit, yeah.
All right. There's actually a trick that I have for that basically involves you like using your reflexes and stuff like that. So we usually try that out.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe if we can get you back, we'll see. All right. So let's wrap up the interview now. In terms of my approach, when I came up to you, I asked you to do the interview. Did you feel my approach was good? Was it bad? How did you feel about it?
I feel good. Like, I didn't feel like you were gonna ask me something weird or, yeah.
Okay.
You seemed friendly and
Appreciate
you had
that.
good energy. So
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. In terms of the interview, start to finish,
Yeah.
did you see how everything was going on the line? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new?
About the medical
Pedicures?
yeah.
It's
That
a
one I
big
didn't
one,
know
right?
about. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's basically a way for you to avoid. A lot of times people can get like different diseases in their feet and stuff. When you
Right,
have
yeah.
diabetes, it's a very important thing.
Diabetes, yeah.
Absolutely. So this is a way for you to like kind of like help yourself like out before you get to that point. So yeah, it's really good. Last thing I always ask, something you can say and leave with my channel. Maybe it's a life lesson you learned. Maybe it's some wise words that somebody shared with you once upon a time. Something you can say to my channel that could be helpful to them. Don't overthink it either. Just
Can I
whatever
say
came to
two
mind.
things?
Huh?
Two
Sure,
things?
Go ahead.
I'd say number one, be nice to yourself, give yourself grace, forgive yourself. And number two, I can't fully remember the full quote, but it said something like, we kind of talked about it. everything you want is on the other side of fear, something like that.
Absolutely. It's a really big one, so I've been trying to live my life by that. So when I go out and do this is not an easy thing to do, right?
It's not.
People can look at you kind of weird and like, why are you asking? Like, and so for me, it's been something that's helped me get out of my comfort zone and like actually see what happens like through every experience I have. So absolutely. But thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you stopping to like do this interview and everything with us. Of course. All right, and we hope that you have a great one. Okay. You too. Thank you. All right. So hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
All right. All right. How did you and I meet today?
We just met right now that you walked out of the place of my employment.
Absolutely. So I approached you about like a quick interview, like to ask you a few questions. Do you remember what the interview is going to be about?
Anxiety, overcoming anxiety.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my channel is all about. I talk to women about how they feel about the subject of feet, mental health, reflexology. So part of the mental health we talk about is like dealing with stress, anxiety. What are some things you do? Real quick for you, in terms of when you deal with like stress, anxiety, like anything like that, is there anything you do to help yourself out of that situation?
I vent.
Yeah.
I vent.
Okay.
I call my sister and I vent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I actually have a history of bad habits that I have recently overcome.
Okay.
And I'm still working on it. Okay. So that has helped me out a lot.
So being able to talk to people about like how you're feeling in the moment.
Not really people.
Okay.
Just basically it's just
family.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Got it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things that like I've been learning like since I started my channel, I talked to a therapist about this, and she mentioned to me about a lot of times we worry about things that have happened in the past or things that are going to happen in the future, right? And so that's something that like will really like cause that stress or anxiety to like come up in us, right?
Yes.
She mentioned to me one of the things to focus on is like if it's not something that's going to affect you 5 years from now, like what are you worried about? Like why are you like focusing so much on it, right? Because a lot of times like the things that we focus on are those things, right? Like how much money am I going to have, 5 years from now, right? As opposed to focusing on like what's happening in the moment. What are you doing in the moment? Like is everything fine around you? Like do you have a job? Do you have like close friends and family who you can connect with, right? So for me, it's been something that's helped me out with my thinking now, because now when I feel like that's coming on, I immediately ask myself, okay, like is this something impacting me 5 years from now? No, okay, it's just something right now. Cool, I can let that go, right?
It's funny that you bring that up.
Yeah.
Because actually, like, this is something that I'm actually currently going through.
Working on, yeah.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
And it's in my plans.
Okay.
It's in my plans. I've been working here barely, like, since March.
Okay.
So then it's in my plans that this is going to affect me in my near future.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of plans, actually. Okay. So then I do stress about because I'm a single mother.
Okay.
And I want to purchase a home. Yeah. Am I working enough hours? Am I spending too much money?
Yeah.
What am I going to do to improve my credit?
Yeah.
Like, here at work, it's a lot. It's pretty stressful because I'm in training right now. So it's like, am I going to meet the qualifications to get the positions that I actually got hired to?
Yeah.
And I'm here early because,
and that's a good thing. You're doing all the right things, right? You showed up early. You're here.
Yes.
So everything else after that,
I met you.
Yeah, exactly. You met. But I'm saying everything else after that's gonna happen at work are all things that like you can handle in the moment. Like you're not gonna have every answer for everything.
I'm not.
But if you'll have some answers for some things, and other things you'll just take it as a learning experience. Like, oh, this happened. Cool. Like let me just plug that away for another moment. So when it happens again, now I know how to deal with it. So that's the best way to go about it. But let me ask you a couple questions in terms of like when it comes to your feet. What are your thoughts, first of all, about your feet? How do you feel about your feet?
Oh my God, I love my feet.
You love your feet.
I love my feet.
Great. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Let me ask you this. Have you ever received compliments from anybody about your feet? Has anybody ever said to you, I think you have nice feet?
Now, yes.
Now, yes. Okay.
In the past, no. I always used to walk barefoot.
Interesting. Well, that's not such a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing.
I always used to walk barefoot. I think it was more like a thing. I like to feel grounded.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Grounding. Absolutely. I'm glad that you mentioned that. So let me ask you this. When you received a compliment from somebody about your feet, they say, hey, I think you have nice feet. How did it make you feel in the moment when they said that? It's not a common compliment, right? It's something that's
weird, huh? Like you got a foot fetish or what's going on?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but something that you were like, well, that's still a good compliment. I felt.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. But it's something new to me because I always used to have, like, I'll be barefoot all the time, so you can imagine what my feet would look like.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: how often you get pedicures?
Now?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Okay. Gel?
Yes.
Gel. Absolutely. My girlfriend, she gets gel.
Okay.
Well. It lasts a little bit longer.
Where's
right?
this going to? Am I gonna have to show you my feet?
We'll get to that, but like we're not going there yet. But like,
Okay.
have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before though?
No.
So that's when you go see a podiatrist as a specialist of the foot.
Mhm.
Basically, what their job is to do is to give you information about your feet, right? So what they do is they'll tell you like the right grain your toenails are supposed to be clipped in. They'll tell you like what your toe alignment looks like, if there's anything you could do to help that out. They like check your feet for like dead skin, fungus, do all the work there with like medical grade equipment. What's your thoughts on seeing somebody like that who could give you like more information about your feet, like tell you like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do, you do this and you do that? How would you feel about that?
I mean, I didn't take any information, you know. I mean, it's like the chances that I'm gonna follow through with it are pretty low because, yeah.
So, even if, like, cause it's like going to see a dentist, right? If you go see a dentist and they
Oh,
tell
boy.
you about your teeth, the same thing is for your feet. So, like, you wouldn't take that information and use it?
Probably, like, it'll probably open my mind in regards to that topic, and it's something that I didn't know, and I'm gonna want to look into it.
Yeah, so a lot of people only know about like just cosmetic pedicures, but like there's another thing you can go do to like get more information about your feet, like what's happening there. Like sometimes people have very dry feet and they don't know the right type of lotion to use. So like they'll tell you like, hey, use this type of lotion because all of our bodies are made up of chemicals, but all of our chemical like balances and stuff are different. Some people have higher like counts, some people have lower. So there's certain things you can use to like help yourself out. So yeah, that's the information I try to go out and give. So let me ask you this: how often do you wear like open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops, things like that?
Any chance I get when the sun is out.
It's like toes out. Absolutely.
Yes,
out,
most definitely.
Out. Absolutely. Let me ask you this: how often do you go barefoot without shoes? Because you said you used to do it a lot.
Yes, I literally would walk down the street barefoot.
Interesting. So how often do you do it now, though?
No, I don't do it anymore. Maybe around the house.
Because you mentioned grounding earlier,
Yes.
right? And that's exactly what you're doing in those moments, earthing and grounding. It's
now I'm at work most of the time, so it's
I would think about though adding that on to like in terms of things that you do like to help out with stress, because I spoke with a Reiki master who are like people who deal with like helping people with like the spiritual side of things, right? And what she explained to me was like when you do earthing and grounding, you basically allow yourself to like unclog mental stress.
Yes, most definitely.
So, even if you just went outside to your front yard, backyard, 10, 15 minutes a day and just stood there, all you do is just focus on what you're feeling in the moment. Don't
re-energize.
It's a reset button, basically.
Yes, most definitely.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on maybe trying that in the future, like doing more of that?
Yes, of course. It's always been me. That's always been my person.
Like
anybody can. If you run into anybody that knows me, they can tell you automatically. She's always without shoes.
Absolutely. What's your sign?
Pisces.
They rule the feet, right?
No, I didn't know that.
That's literally what they say. They rule the feet. So
okay, like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she's Pisces, and she walks around barefoot.
Is she February or March Pisces?
February.
Okay, me too.
Yeah. February, like 22nd. She is.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. All right, so now in this moment right now, can we see what your feet look like?
I guess.
Okay, cool.
All crusty.
Don't worry about it. We're not here to judge anything. Can I get one of these chairs? Let me get this chair right here. Pull it around real quick. All right, cool. So if you can't just like, leave your socks on for now. Let's just see what the outline looks like. And then can you take out both?
No, because I'm not wearing matching socks. I'm just kidding.
I know. She's like, I'm not wearing matching socks. What size shoe do you wear first?
I wear an 8.
A size 8. Okay. Does it vary depending on the type of shoe you're wearing? Like if you're wearing a sandal, a heel, something like that, is it different?
I don't know.
Okay, because like sometimes people will like size down or size up depending on the type of shoe they're wearing. All right, cool. All right, now you can take your socks off. All right.
I'm only gonna take one sock off. Okay.
Huh?
I'm only gonna take one sock off.
You can't take both?
No.
Why is that? Because you're at work?
Yes. It's embarrassing. I'm just gonna take one off. Okay, like real quick.
You have really nice feet, and then
like, okay.
Let's see. Hold on. So it looks like your toes, if I'm not mistaken, they go from big to small, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So hold on, real quick. So it seems like you started to get hyper vigilant, like.
No, I'm at work.
But
I just wanted to show you real quick.
Yeah,
I know.
You ain't clocked in or anything. So let me ask you this: in terms of.
I don't want my manager to come out. It's like, Marie, what are you doing?
I understand. But when it comes to dealing with like anxiety and stress, right? We talked about some things that you could do to help out with that. Is there anything else that you could say to people who might watch my channel about things that they can do to like help out with their stress, getting out of that comfort zone? Because a lot of times we get stuck in our comfort zones because we're like,
drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water. Okay.
Yes, drink a lot of water.
Is that what helps you?
Yes.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that. Well, thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you stopping to do this interview with us.
Yeah, no worries.
We
Yeah.
hope you have a great one, okay?
Thank you, baby. Likewise. Nice to meet you.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, good, and yourself?
I'm doing good. How did you and I meet today?
You came up to me.
Absolutely. So I approached you about an interview. You remember what the interview is about?
Feet, and I think you said mental health?
Hey, yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. When you hear the word feet, what do you think about first? First thing goes to your mind. Be honest. Whatever came to your mind first.
I don't know, something creepy, I guess.
Something creepy. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about
Yeah.
your thoughts about feet and how you relate to it yourself. Feel free to answer however you like, okay?
Okay.
What about mental health?
Mental health, that's a really big subject, so it could be about anything, really.
Okay, absolutely. Talk a little bit about like self-care, how you deal with that, like maybe some things you do. I'll talk a little bit about the things I've learned on the channel so far, and then we'll just kind of meet there. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like feet and mental health can correlate in any kind of way?
In a way, yes.
In a way, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
to some people, maybe.
To some people, okay, cool. Let's get started with the question. So first of all, in terms of mental health, is there anything that you deal with in terms of anxiety, anything that causes you to feel anxious in any way?
Yes, I actually go to my doctor for it.
Okay.
They told me to stay off coffee.
Stay off coffee, okay.
Yes, because
Too much caffeine.
Yeah, it gets me very anxious.
Okay, absolutely. And so, one of the things I've kind of learned since I started the channel about dealing with anxiety, have you ever heard of grounding before?
Grounding?
Yeah.
No.
So it's a technique you can use. Let's say that you're feeling anxious. Like for me, it's crowds.
Okay.
Large crowds like really make me anxious.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I was taught to do is like when I'm out there and I'm feeling like that, focus on the like sights, the different things I hear,
Yeah.
the smells around me,
Okay.
and that helps you calm like your nervous system down because that's pretty much what's happening. Your nervous system is like experiencing an influx, and so what
Yeah.
you do is you start to kind of focus on things that are around you, and it helps you calm down more. What are some coping mechanisms that you have for like dealing with your anxiety? Besides not drinking coffee.
I try to listen to music and
Okay.
just keep myself distracted, really.
I think that's a good one. Listening
Yeah.
to music, probably even going on a walk and listening
Yeah,
to music,
just that, or I have 10 pets, so
Okay. Ooh.
yeah.
You and my girlfriend, you guys are neck and neck. She has 2 dogs.
Oh wow, I have 2
6
dogs
cats.
too. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, 6 cats and 3 birds.
Oh wow.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's crazy. So you got pretty much got the same thing going on there.
Yeah, I have 8 cats, 2 are cats, 6 are kittens, and then I have 2 dogs. One's
That's
a puppy
crazy.
still.
That's crazy. I'm pretty sure the food costs a lot of money. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: in terms of when it comes to compliments that you receive from people, right? Are you somebody that receives compliments easily? Do you have a hard time accepting compliments? Like, what's your thoughts there?
I would say I have a hard time accepting them.
Do they make you feel anxious, like when somebody points something out about you?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. What is something that you're doing to like help yourself out with that? Like because compliments are usually designed to make us feel good. And I think
Yeah.
as long as the context is good, there's nothing wrong there, right? So what is something that you're doing to help yourself out with that?
I would say just more self-care, like you said. That really helps, and just speaking to yourself sometimes, just giving yourself that confidence.
Absolutely, absolutely. In terms of when it comes to yourself, let's say somebody gave you the power to change something about yourself. It doesn't have to be something physical. Maybe it's a behavior you have.
Okay.
Is there anything you would change?
I would say I've done better. I'm usually not social, but I would say probably how I interact with others.
Yeah. And I think it was great because like I walked up to you, and a lot of times when I walk up to people and I'm like, hey, a lot of times people are like really like,
Yeah.
just get away from me, and you're just more like, yeah, for sure, let's go.
I work at Universal Studios,
Oh,
so
do
that
you?
gets
So
me
you're
a little
used to
more.
people coming up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
at first I was a little more anxious towards
Interesting.
people.
Okay, so that's kind of
yeah.
helped you get out of that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let me ask you some questions now. Let's switch gears here. When you think about your own feet, what do you think about? What do you feel? Do you have any great feelings there, bad feelings? How do you feel?
I would say great feelings.
Great feelings.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Have you ever received compliments about your feet? Has anybody ever said to you, they think you have nice feet?
Yeah.
Okay. When you got a compliment about that from somebody, in the moment, how did it make you feel? Did you feel good? Did you feel bad?
I felt funny and good.
Funny. Okay.
Like, it's not something
It's
you
not
normally
common.
hear, yeah.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this, like, because if somebody came up to you and said, hey, I love your hair, I think your eyes are nice, I love your smile, that would feel different for you?
Yeah, I would feel like,
Okay. Even though it's still a part of you, right? Because
Yeah.
if somebody pointed out your feet and they thought that your feet were nice, that's still a part of you, right?
Yeah.
So why is it different? Only because it's not common?
Mostly because I guess there's a stereotype on
There we go. Yeah.
On-
A societal, like, yeah.
more
absolutely.
people that say it are more, I guess, sexually attracted to it.
So, like, let's say somebody, because I get that. Let's say somebody walked up to you, and they just said, "Hey, I think you have nice feet," and they kept walking. They didn't stay there and say anything extra. That's all they said. You wouldn't think that that's just like normal. That's just something like they're just saying something, and then because people can do the same thing about your hair, right? Hey, you have nice hair, and they keep walking.
Yeah.
So, is there really a difference?
I guess not. Now that I think about it, I guess not.
So my channel is all about that. Like when I ask these questions, right? A lot of people tend to like think about that, like the social conversation around that is like
Yeah.
a negative type of conversation.
Yeah.
My channel is designed to like make it a more positive thing, to make people like when you hear about when somebody asks you what do you think about when you hear feet, you would be like, oh, I think about self-care. I think about like walking.
Yeah.
You would think about something else instead of just that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this: how often do you wear like open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops, things like that?
I wear them occasionally.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you have a favorite style of shoe actually that you like to wear? Like a brand or a style?
I would say Vans.
Vans is like usually the one. I'm guessing because they're like easy to put on, easy to slip out of.
Yeah, that or any sandals I like really.
Absolutely, absolutely. How often do you go barefoot, no shoes?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Have you ever heard of earthing and grounding before?
Earthing and grounding? No.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm guessing they just walk barefoot anywhere.
So not quite.
No?
So earthing
Okay.
and grounding is like, so it's something that you can do, and it's like an intentional type thing, right? So
Okay.
it's like, let's say for example you had a long day at work, Universal Studios, it was crazy,
Yeah.
you know, all kinds of things going on. Something you can do is if you got a backyard, front yard, 10-15 minutes, go stand there. What you do is you focus on like what you're feeling in the moment, right?
Oh,
So like
okay.
in the moment, I feel soft grass against my feet. I feel a cool breeze. I hear the
Interesting.
birds like chirping, like
Peaceful.
exactly.
Yeah.
You try to
Okay.
focus and be mindful on the moment that you're experiencing. Don't worry about anything in the past. Don't worry about anything in the future. What that's supposed to do is almost be like a reset button that you're hitting and allowing yourself to now calm down and get back to what you need to do.
Okay.
What would your thoughts be on trying something like that that could be like helpful for you?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So when I go out, I try to get information about that, like
Yeah.
for people who don't know. In terms of pedicures, how often do you get pedicures?
I have a thing with, because I've heard some stories on how
Oh,
people.
horror stories.
Yeah, so I try not to go
You're
to
like, I'm not going.
places. I'll do it myself, really.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before? Is that familiar to you?
No.
That's like going to see a podiatrist. Actually, they're
Oh,
like a
okay.
specialist of the foot.
Okay.
What they do is they take a look at your feet to make sure like your toenails grow correctly. They check
Okay.
your toe alignment to make sure your toe alignment is right.
Okay.
They check your feet for like dead skin, fungus. Do all the work there with like medical grade equipment. It's
Oh,
actually
okay.
like the cleanest possible pedicure you could get.
Oh, nice.
What are your thoughts on like seeing like somebody like that who can give you more insight into what's happening with your feet? What would you think about that?
I would say that's nice. I would feel more safe there, I guess.
That would be a better,
Yeah.
because it's not so much about having to worry about do they keep the tools clean
Do
and
they
everything.
clean them?
Like,
Yeah, that's.
it's like the cleanest possible thing you could do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe you could share with your mom. Maybe next Mother's Day,
Yeah.
medical pedicures for both of you or something
Yeah.
like that. Absolutely. So all right. So like in this moment right now, can we see what your feet look like?
Sure.
All right, cool. Let me have you if you can. Can you put your feet here? Like just turn.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. And so, what size shoe do you wear first of all? You said you're about 4'10", so it's got to be small.
2 in kids.
You're the smallest size that I've ever interviewed here. Usually I get like 4, 5, something like that. Absolutely
Okay.
very small. So you buy kid shoes,
Yes.
and I'm pretty sure they're very cheap for you.
Yes.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts about that? Being able to buy cheaper shoes.
I get that a lot, so honestly, it feels good. Save money.
Absolutely, it's like I could focus on like an outfit or something like that. Now,
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Cool. All right. And then if you can we see the bottoms? Can you take your shoes off?
The bottom?
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you said you don't feel. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
So you don't feel. We got to the first part where you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: you ever heard of exposure therapy before?
No.
Okay, so exposure therapy is for people who feel uncomfortable, in certain situations or scenarios. You might even have like a phobia about something, right? What therapists tell you to do is like a lot of times we're focused on our comfort zones, right? We're like, I'm gonna stay in my comfort zone because I know what's gonna happen here, right? If I step out of that comfort zone, I have no idea what's gonna happen, right? So what our minds start to do is our minds like will construct and create different things for us to think about, like this might happen, that might happen, and a lot of times in reality, the things we're thinking about aren't things that's actually gonna happen. It's just our minds being afraid of what's gonna happen because it's the unknown, right?
Yeah.
So when I heard about that, I'm like, I'm an overthinker. Like I literally will overthink every situation, and I was like, man, I want to get better at just like make a snap decision, live with it. Not everything requires me to think so deeply, right? So I had the idea to like go out, start interviewing women, right, about their thoughts about how they feel about the subject of feet, because during quarantine, a lot of women were getting into football, and that was the thing, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed like for a lot of them, it was kind of easy to do. But how does the average woman who I just met, like we just met right now, right? I don't know you from anywhere else. And asking you these questions, seeing if you can be comfortable, and then we get to this part where I ask you that. Do you continue to be comfortable, or do you get to the point where you're like, I feel uncomfortable? And then why is the uncomfortability there? Is it because we're strangers? You don't know if I really have a YouTube channel? You're kind of like, you've heard, like you said before,
all of those.
you've heard negative things before about like feet, so you like, all these things are like creating something for you. You're like, aha, man, I feel uncomfortable, right? So I try to get people to practice the exposure therapy to see if can they get out of that, get out of the comfort zone. What's the worst that's going to happen? So when you think about this, what's the worst that's going to happen if you show us the bottom of your feet? Like, is anything bad going to happen? You're going to get struck by lightning? The sky is going to fall? Anything like that?
No, it's just more like, I guess, like you said, not my comfort zone.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. So how do we get better at like learning how to step out of our comfort zone?
I would say practicing maybe more self-love little by little.
So one of the things that I learned, right, because I always tell people this, I give them this analogy, right? If you said, if a person like gave you different foods to try, right, and they said, hey, try this food, and you always said no, how do you know what foods are good and what foods are bad, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have a reference point for it. You'd only have the reference point for the things you know about. Like, well, I know burgers are good. I know pizza's good, but I don't know if ramen's good. I don't know if you get me? So I try to get people to step out of those comfort zones and see if we can challenge that. So even though you feel uncomfortable, can we get you out of your comfort zone? Or is that something that you like, you're going to hold on to that because you know it's there?
Oh, I would say no.
Okay. It's perfectly fine. Do you have a reason for why you want to stay there?
Mostly because we're strangers, and I don't know how I feel about it on the YouTube channel.
Absolutely. No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
So let's talk about reflexology, and then I'll let you get up out of here, okay? So reflexology is all about the different pressure points you actually have in your hands. You heard that before?
Yes.
Like there's actually a reflexology place right there too.
The ones with needles, right? Or is that something else?
So the reflexology is all about like the pressure points correlating to like different organs, different parts of your body. So let's say, for example, through a massage or through acupuncture, through acupressure, you can actually like alleviate stress and tension to various parts of your body. So let's say, for example, you're somebody who deals with migraines all the time, right? There's actually a portion of your hands and feet you can massage that you can alleviate the tension you feel in those moments. What would your thoughts be on like trying something like that? Do you think that this is a good thing, a bad thing? How do you feel about it?
I would say anything peaceful, relaxing is good, and that honestly sounds like something relaxing and something good.
Absolutely, absolutely. So usually when I go out, when we talk about this, the reason why I ask you like if you take your shoes off and stuff is because we talk about sensitivity, right?
Yeah.
How ticklish do you tend to be, like on the sensitive side?
How sensitive am I? I'm really sensitive.
Okay. So when you have got pedicures before, were you like really ticklish?
Yes.
There's actually a trick to that helps out, like you just using your own body to like help yourself out with it. So if you wiggle your fingers and toes, basically that's something that can help you. Like, 'cause it's almost like, think about it this way: our minds are connected to every part of our body, right? It's almost like a distraction in a way, right? Because it keeps you from thinking about what's happening. But at the same time, like you wiggling your fingers and toes, it sends the energy that you're feeling in the moment to a different spot. So that's actually a little trick for you that you could do, like. In the moments, if you ever want to go out and get a pedicure again, try that out. Because I know when they do the pumice stone, right? That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so let's wrap up the interview. In terms of my approach, when I came up to you, did you feel my approach was good? Was it bad? How'd you feel about it?
I felt it was good. I felt comfortable.
Absolutely, absolutely. In terms of the interview. Now, I didn't get a chance to ask you all my questions because I know you're kind of like with your mom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, what did you think about the questions? Did you think they were good? Did you think they were bad? How'd you feel about it?
I think they were good. There's not a lot of people that ask you those questions,
Yeah.
and especially about your mental health too.
Absolutely.
So that's really good.
Cool. Last thing I'll ask, something you can say to my channel that could be helpful from a mental health standpoint. Maybe it's a life lesson you learned or some wise words somebody shared with you. Anything like that?
I would say stay true to yourself, and no matter what, just keep going.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you stopping to do this interview
Yeah.
with us. All right. And we hope that you have a great one. Okay?
Yeah, you too.
All right, cool.